Zappos, Tony Hsieh, and customer service stories. Welcome to Thank God It's a Story Saturday, a weekly video series where I share stories with you that you can use to make your messages stick. Last week on the 27th of November, we woke up to a devastating news that Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, had died at the age of 46. I remember when I first started my career in storytelling, I used to actively every day look for stories that leaders were telling, and his name used to always surface because he was a great storyteller. Now, the very first story is a story of a customer loyalty officer at Zappos that Tony told in a talk that he gave. The name of the customer loyalty officer is Steve Weinstein. And one day at the customer call center, there was a call that was placed and Steve picked up the call. And initially the customer asked for a couple of things that they wanted to purchase, but as the conversation went further, they started to talk about general things like living in Las Vegas and, who's in the family and stuff like that. This customer call actually goes on for a record amount of time, which is 10 hours and 43 minutes. Now, Tony says that in a lot of organizations, one of the metrics for being on calls is average handling time. And it has to be short because you don't want to miss calls, so you move really, really fast. But in that company, in Zappos, that amount of time, 10 hours, 43 minutes, was actually looked upon as good simply because that company, Zappos, that Tony had built was primarily a customer service company that delivered happiness. And he says that, that time that you get on the call with the customer, which is normally 5 to 10 minutes, is the best time for you to leave a brand impression because it is uninterrupted. He also mentions in the same talk that the number 1-800, which is normally what we use to call companies, is for Zappos, it was really important to make it very, very easy to find that number and ensure that they could get as many calls as possible, because the moment they got the calls, then that created an opportunity for them to deliver happiness and to show people their wow service. A lot of people asked Steve, the guy who took this 10-hour, 43 minutes call, did you even go to the bathroom? And he says, yeah, I did take one break, and I think the customer also took a break, but we were enjoying the conversation. But as I was having the conversation, my colleagues saw that it was such a long conversation. They started bringing me food and drinks and stuff like that. So this is one story that has left an impression in my mind, because I think the value system that you create around an organization, it's very easy to say we provide wow service, we provide customer care, we believe in delivering happiness. But would you do that when you're really challenged to think of situations and your staff member is on a call for 10 hours, 43 minutes? How many CEOs will give people a pat on the back for doing something like that? Now, when you live your values, when it is tough, is really when you live your values. Tony Hsieh was an amazing storyteller, and what an incredible feat in his short life that he has lived, and we can all be inspired to be a great storyteller like him.